What did we actually learn from the 49ers win over the Giants? Good afternoon. Welcome to a special primetime afternoon emergency Monday version of the Cohn Zone. That's Lowell Cohn. I'm Grant Cohn. We're father and son. We have decided to move our show from Tuesdays to Mondays because Ryan Hensley has unofficially retired to become a varsity basketball high school coach. Shout out to Ryan. Love you, man. And so I figured maybe move my dad to Mondays. So I flew back from East Rutherford, New Jersey, and we're going a little bit later than we normally would. But we're going to be a Monday show from now on. How do you feel about that, Dad?
Nervous. Ryan is great. I don't know if I can keep it up.
One of the reasons we're a little late today is because I have a new beard and I'm trying to make it look good. You know, I'm going with a new look. And so this week, today's sponsor is really helping me out with that. House of Atlas. I don't usually shave. I usually have a little thing but I'm going with a new look. And I wanted to have my neck really looking good. So I got this. They sent me this stuff. And I used a razor for the first time in like 20 years. I don't like using it because I usually get like irritation. You know what I'm talking about? But with House of Atlas, there's no irritation. And my beard is feeling pretty good. So that's another reason why we're 10 minutes late, but I think it was worth it. And if you want to look as good as me with this beard, don't stress over last minute gifts or settle for shaving products that don't deliver. This holiday season, give yourself or someone on your list the upgrade they deserve with House of Atlas. Grab it at Target stores nationwide or online at target.com. Yeah, you could look just like me. All right, Dad. East Rutherford, New Jersey. I was there. You watched it. You've been there. The Giants were pretty bad, but the Niners, we're covering them. They won a game. They're 6-3. What do we actually learn about the Niners this weekend?
Okay. First of all, let's explain another reason we're a little late today. House of Atlas, I'm very intrigued, but Kyle Shanahan just had his phoner, his weekly Monday phoner. And
that's more important.
No. House of Atlas is important. They're giving you money and Kyle isn't. So, right. But Iggy obviously needed to listen. And there was a little bit about the quarterbacks, which isn't earth-shattering, and we'll get to as one of our topics in a bit. Okay, what do we learn from the game? I'm being serious now. They're 6-3. 6-3 is not only a good record, Iggy, it's a commendable record.
Yes.
It's among the better records in the league. So we learned they're a 6-3 team. We learned they could play an awful team and take care of business. That's all they showed. But usually I say a lot on this show, every game is a different universe, and we learn something in every game. Except I didn't learn a lot yesterday. I would even go a little further and say, after 9 games in a season, I generally have a pretty good feel for how good a team is. I'm a little vague about the Niners. Even after 9 games, they have a really good record. They've had some miserable losses. That one to Houston was terrible, and that was just 2 weeks ago. So I'm reluctant to say that they're an NFL powerhouse. On the other hand, they may be among the elite teams. I really don't know. And what I want to say is it troubles me. And I sound vague and skitsy because the Niners are. I may be as well in my private life, but the Niners are a little skitsy. When you think they're really good, they blow it. When you think they're going to blow it, they're really good. And it's very hard to reach opinions about a team like that.
Well, they're 6-3. That's a hell of a record. They won their first 3 games. Since then, they've lost a game, won a game, lost a game, won a game. So maybe that's why we feel a little skitsy. Every other week we have, oh my God, they can't do it. Or, oh my God, they're back. So they're a little skitsy. And I think what's interesting about the NFL this year is that there is no dominant team. There's not one team that seems to have it all together or is having good injury luck. Every single week you think, that team might be the best team in the league. They lose. The Chiefs lost this weekend. The Lions lost this weekend. I mean, the Seahawks look really good, right? The Niners beat them. So even if the Niners aren't great, or as good as they were 2 years ago, or what we would think a Super Bowl champion looks like, your guess is as good as mine as to which team's going to actually win the Super Bowl this year. And I think that's so important for the Niners to realize a day before the trade deadline. This might not be the team you wanted to have, but look at your record. Look at the league. You might be the best team in the NFL, or you might not make the playoffs. You got to figure that out.
Absolutely. That's how the variance is that large. Yes. It's interesting when you say there's no dominant team. Iggy, correct me if I'm wrong, but Philadelphia lost to the Giants.
They lost to the Giants like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and the Giants are unspeakably bad. That coach is going to get fired either during the season or right after. He's dead right now. So even Philadelphia isn't a dominant team, nor is Tampa Bay, nor are the Rams. The Niners already beat the Rams. So, and I'll say this. I'm uncomfortable with not knowing. On the other hand, it's a lot of fun. It's Absolutely. A lot of fun because everything is up for grabs, and the Niners are squarely in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking the Packers might be the best team in the NFC. They were 5-1-1 entering yesterday with a game against the Panthers, and they promptly lost to Carolina.
Yeah.
So there's some really good teams in the AFC. The Niners haven't beaten an AFC team in about a year. But in the NFC, I feel like the Niners have already beaten the two best teams, and they could beat Philly and Green Bay as well. Sort of dependent on what they do tomorrow at the deadline. They keep losing. For every game they win, they seem to lose 2 or 3 players. They just lost their first-round pick. They need to make a move, but they may not need to make like a lot of moves or a huge move, just one. And we'll talk about what that needs to be.
Is that what we're talking about now, the draft? Have we segued over to the draft?
Why don't we talk about I think it's a pretty good segue.
I like it. I like how you did it. I just need to know that we did it.
That's how I do it.
Okay.
So it's 1:00 tomorrow. Trade deadline. What should the Niners do?
Well, first of all, they should do something. Mm-hmm. I've had people write to me, say, they're not that good. They should play for, not make any moves, figure it out for next season. No, they're in the middle of this season. You don't give up on this season when you're 6-3. So no. Now, do they want to trade first-round draft picks? I don't think so. I first of all, Iggy, what do they need? Well, they need offensive linemen, but they're not going to get them. So let's forget that. That's a dead horse. Mm-hmm. But clearly, I think they need a run stopper or a pass rusher. They need somebody up front.
Linemen they can get. They need all the defensive linemen they can get. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And how could they get them? With lower round draft choices or with Juwan Jennings?
Or a combination.
Or a combo. Yeah. Or a combo plate.
But this is starting to happen. The Eagles, who are in the same position as the Niners, just traded a 3rd-round pick to the Miami Dolphins, who are tanking. They just fired their general manager for edge rusher Jalen Phillips. So that's kind of the going rate. There's other guys. I mean, the Dolphins also have Bradley Chubb, who's a little bit older. The Niners might be able to get him for, I'm sure they don't want to give up a 2nd or 3rd-round pick. But if they could get Bradley Chubb for a 4th-round pick and Juwan Jennings, that would be a great trade for the 49ers. And they can't do nothing. They have to get someone. And I think, like you said, a lot of people are saying this isn't the Niners' year. They should hold on to their picks. Maybe they'll make have a better run next year. No, this is your year. What are we assuming that they'll have better injury luck? They'll be healthier next year. They always have injury problems, always. But at least this year, you're 6-3 despite the injuries, and your schedule is pretty wide open as opposed to next year when you're going to have to face the AFC West and the NFC East. It's going to be a lot tougher next year, and your older players will be even older.
Iggy, I still think the Niners could win 11 games this season.
Absolutely, they could.
That's a good record.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Iggy, I'm saying what they need is across the board defensive linemen. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think they know what they need. They need an edge rusher. There's about 4 or 5 available. They don't want to overpay, but they have to get one because their record is too good. They owe it to themselves to put their best foot forward, especially when you see a team like Philly that isn't necessarily much better than them. Not saying going all in, but making them improving. The Niners have to. They just went and traded for Keon White. That's a good prelude move. Now go do one more.
Iggy, do you think they're going to make a deal before the trade deadline, which is 23 hours away?
I absolutely do. And I'll tell you, I made plans with Kevin to go play 18 holes yesterday. And then it occurred to me that the Niners are going to make a trade probably when I'm on the 8th hole. So I called Kevin and said, you know what? I'm out. We'll go next week. So I already canceled a golf arrangement because I'm so sure the Niners are going to trade for a defensive end. Sorry, Kevin.
Okay, Kevin, we love you.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a jerk, and I'm putting you on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
What if they don't make a move? What would you think?
Weak. You just lost your first round pick. You already lost Nick Bosa. You need a defensive lineman. There isn't one team in the NFC that's much better than you. There's no good reason not to go for it other than not being happy enough with your own roster because some players are out. Like, play the hand you were dealt, understand that you're up and you're winning, and finish the job. That was a terrible mixed metaphor, but I'm just saying, it would feel like Buster Posey was the general manager of the 49ers if they did nothing.
He's good at doing nothing, Buster Posey.
He's really good at doing nothing.
But we'll leave him aside. If I were still a columnist and they were to do nothing before the trade deadline, I would write a very sharp, excoriating column going after them. But I don't think it's necessary. One, I'm not a columnist anymore. And two, I like you, believe that they are sane enough to do something, that they owe it to the players in the locker room.
I agree. And it comes back to the beginning of the show. You said, what did we really learn about the Niners in this win over the Giants? I don't know, maybe nothing. And maybe that's how the Niners front office feels like. Okay, we just won a game. Do we feel differently about our team? Do we learn anything about our team? Maybe not. Still, though, at 6-3, that's something you learn. You have a really good record, and you could lose a game or two and still be one of the better teams in the league. Why not take advantage of this great record and see what you can do with this team? Like, you're missing Fred Warner. He's not coming back. Same with Nick Bosa, but you keep finding ways to beat teams. What if you had one more good player? You might go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay, so you and I are agreed. We're all in with them making a move, but not giving up first-round draft picks.
Agree. You got to be prudent here.
Prudent.
SGA Sports Talk channel is a new member. Thank you, SGA. Josh says that razor is above my pay grade. Sheridan Milestone says the Niners' inability to use a quarterback spy dumbfounds me. They do have a tough time stopping the run, particularly when the quarterback's running. Bill Kennedy says, would it be possible for the Niners to restructure Brock's contract to free up money for a top rate O-line? Brady did it. Is it too late? It's not too late, but it's not gonna happen anytime soon.
Don't hold your breath.
Don't hold your breath. That's a good segue into
wait a minute. And why should Purdy restructure his contract? He just got a contract. He's in business. He's not a philanthropy. Why should he? I wouldn't. You got a problem? Find another way to get an offensive lineman. Don't ask me to donate.
You understood the situation you were putting yourself in when you signed me to this contract. Now I have to be a team player and give back money or restructure. Okay, speaking of quarterbacks, we just spoke to Kyle Shanahan. He had his weekly conference call, and he was asked, what's going to be the determination when you bring Brock Purdy back? He said, well, we want to see that he's Brock again. He also said yesterday after the game that there's no guarantee he makes a full recovery this season. Do you think the Niners should bring him back at all this year?
There was one other thing he said that we need to include, that bringing back Brock is not relevant or related to how Mac Jones played. Didn't he say
that was the key one?
Didn't he say they're unrelated?
He was asked straight, like point blank. Does this happen? The better Mac Jones play, does that give you more freedom to leave Brock out? And he was like, oh, absolutely not. They're not related. But this is Brock's team.
Yeah. He just said they're not this is Brock's team. They're not related. So Iggy, that's the key quote.
Yes.
That's the one we need to unpack. They're not related. Now, look, I've attended Hundreds,
Like me and you aren't
thousands.
related.
Right. Like, yeah. I've attended thousands of news conferences, right?
Mhm.
And I know these coaches and managers, they're up there. They feel like they could say anything they want, and they know people will be polite to them. And they won't say, Kyle, that sounds like a lot of bullshit. No one is going to sit in a media conference like that and
No,
say it.
no one's
But
going to argue with him. He can say that.
no, he could say it. But to me, it sounds like a lot of bullshit, Iggy.
Yeah.
Let me get, and then we'll get to what it means, Brock being Brock. But let's do it one at a time. Let's say Mac continues to play really well. Let's say he beats the Rams. Let's say he's really doing well. And they come to a practice one day, and Brock says, I feel like I'm Brock again.
Mm-hmm.
Watch me. Do you think Shanahan's going to go in and say, well, Brock's Brock? Mac, you've got 10 wins or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You're out.
Yeah.
No way. He would be insane to do that. He doesn't owe allegiance to Brock. He owes allegiance to the team. Why would you pull out a guy who's excellent and doing well because the other guy says he's ready, or you determine the other guy's ready? Now, if Mac falters, that's fair enough. But if he's playing the way Iggy, his record is 5-2, right?
Yep.
Would you say that's a hell of a record?
I would say that's a hell of a record, especially considering Brock was 6-9 last year and 1-1 this year. It's not like he's necessarily the savior right now. What Mac is doing is necessary. They need him.
Mac is the savior.
He's the savior.
He's the savior.
Yeah.
They would have been on their tush, Iggy.
Yeah.
But they had Mac. Good for
Mhm.
Kyle. They had Mac. He's the savior. So we're going to say, we're getting rid of the savior. We're going to go back to the other one because he says he's feeling well now. Iggy, I don't believe it.
I got a point to make. So he says they're not related, and we don't believe him. If the Niners were handling Brock Purdy's recovery in a way that was completely independent of the results on the field, we're not going to overreact and bring him back out if we need him because it's all about his future and his recovery. I think they would have put him on IR by now. He got hurt a second time. They didn't put him on IR. He's been out 5 games. He's probably going to miss another. He could miss another one this week. That'd be 6. You put him on IR. You can bring him back after 4. They didn't do that. And to me, why didn't they put him on IR? Well, you could interpret it as, well, if, Mac sucks, we can kind of go back to you. Or if he plays well, we can keep you out. It's almost like they're in a week-to-week wait-and-see situation that they're just not admitting to.
It feels like it, right?
It feels like it.
It
Otherwise,
certainly
why else would you
feels
put him
like
on
it.
IR? Yeah.
Yeah. Now we get to the other thing. When he says, this is a paraphrase, but I'm pretty close, Iggy. When Brock is Brock again, he'll play.
Mhm.
Okay. He's trying to set a standard, the
Mhm.
Brock standard. Now, you could say a standard is when he could run a 40 and 4.5, when he can throw the ball 50 yards without pain, when he can read the field. Those are standards. When Brock is Brock again is such a vague standard, it means whatever you want it to mean. It could mean we'll bring him back when Mac sucks because then we'll say he's Brock again.
Mhm.
Right? Or it could mean we don't want him to play any more this season and because he won't be Brock this season. He'll be 99.9% Brock, but he won't be Brock. So he set up a standard that's a non-standard, which I believe has everything to do with how Mac is playing.
I completely agree. So he's saying when Brock is Brock again. Well, that's not objective. It's up to the 49ers to tell us when he's Brock again. And again, last night after the game, he said, Kyle Shanahan, that there's really no guarantee that Brock makes a full recovery this season, that this is something that could be bothering him all year. And the question is, will it stop, bother him less in the upcoming weeks to the point where he can play on it? sounds like there's a possibility he won't ever be Brock again this season, according to whatever the Niners' vague standard is.
Right.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Iggy. Is Mac Jones a good quarterback?
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Is he an elite quarterback? No. Maybe he'll become one day. I mean, Sam Darnold keeps improving, but right now he went from being a complete bust to being an absolute good starting quarterback. Yes. And the thing about Mac is you don't talk about like, well, when Mac's Mac, he's good. No, if he's on the field, he's good.
Okay. Tougher question. Is Purdy when he's Purdy? We're not talking about is Purdy when he's Purdy better than Mac Jones?
Theoretically, yes, because he can run around and that mobility is huge, and Mac can't do that. But I feel like with Purdy, we saw over time the interceptions increase and the injuries increase because he held the ball longer. So he has a better skill set than Mac Jones, but it wasn't necessarily leading to better results over time. Mac Jones is more limited, but he's winning. He's not turning the ball over. He's not scrambling. He's not holding the ball a long time. So Brock should be better than Mac, but Mac happens to be playing better than Brock, at least this year. Is that a bad answer?
I disagree with it.
Okay.
When you say that Brock has a better skill set, I disagree. And I'll tell you
Okay.
why. I think you mean that he has a component to his game where he can run a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, he's not Lamar Jackson, but he can run a little bit.
Yeah.
He runs a little bit because the offensive line can't protect him and he holds the ball longer than he used to. So he has to run for his life.
And he doesn't always necessarily see the whole field so well from the pocket because he's a little shorter.
Right. I think if you take away his running, which is not the key part of his game, I think Mac's a better quarterback. If you put them both in the pocket, I think Mac's a better quarterback.
I agree with that. I think the only thing Brock does better than Mac is move. And Brock moves a lot better than Mac. But everything else Mac does at least a little bit better than Brock. See the field, throw with anticipation, throw with accuracy, throw with arm strength, protect the football. Just like all the throwing things from the pocket. Brock is very good at throwing on the run. Once you get outside the pocket, Brock's better. But inside the pocket, Mac is just better.
Yeah, and Mac basically is inside the pocket. He's not a guy who's running around, but he doesn't get sacked a lot.
No, he doesn't, because he doesn't hold on to the ball very long.
Right. So what Purdy makes up with mobility, Mac doesn't have mobility, but he gets rid of the ball so quick that he's not one of these guys who's always getting, like Matt Ryan was always getting sacked. He's not always getting sacked. This is going to sound weird, and it may be very unfair to Purdy and the 49ers. I like Mac Jones better.
I think I do as well. And I think there's something about Mac. I'm not saying he's tougher than Brock, but the durability thing. I mean, a starting quarterback should be on the field every week, no matter what, even if you're 70 or 60% healthy. I mean, I grew up with Brett Favre. He never missed a game. And this whole thing of like, well, he'll play when he's himself. That doesn't sound like a starting quarterback or a franchise quarterback or a guy making $53 million a year. Mac will start if he's living, if he's breathing. He'll be on the field. If he doesn't have a torn ACL, he'll be on the field, limping around, grimacing, making it work somehow. That's the job.
I love what you're saying. In other words, you don't have to be 100% to be yourself. You could be 65% to be yourself. You get out there. And what they're doing is, it almost seems, and again, this is my opinion, that they're babying Brock, but they're not babying Mac because you don't have to.
That's right. That's a big difference. I mean, if Brock Purdy needs to be 100% healthy to be effective in the NFL, what does that make him? A franchise quarterback? Who's ever 100% healthy?
And it's just like a pitcher, Iggy. You think in the last game of the World Series, Yamamoto was 100%. He had pitched the day before. And he didn't say, I have to be Yamamoto. He came in and won.
And like you said, like he's mobile, but he's not Lamar Jackson. I mean, he scrambles around a little bit. He's not even Jeff Garcia. So you take that part of his game away and force him to stay in the pocket, and he's not good. I mean, I know a lot of quarterbacks who can run around, but if they, like Patrick Mahomes, he can run around, But if he had a sprained ankle, he could stand in one spot and kick your ass. I don't know, but
Yeah.
in fact, Brock can't do that.
No, but Mac might be able to do that and
Yes.
has been doing that. So
Yes.
I guess we're actually saying something a little radical today, Iggy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's based on the news that came out today that in Kyle's little presser, that we're saying no matter Brock's health, we prefer Mac right now.
Yes.
That's how
Yes.
I feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe someday in the future, when Brock is Brock again, whatever that means, he'll be better than Mac Jones. But one, I don't know when that day is going to come. It may never come. And it may not last that long. The whole thing is Mac can do this whether he's 50%, 100%. Brock has less wiggle room.
Iggy, I'm not sure that 100% Brock is better than Mac.
Yeah. Yeah. Because 100% Brock, what does he do that Mac can't do? Scramble around, hold the ball. Does that always lead to good things or does it lead to bad things some of the time?
When he scrambles around, he seems to get hurt.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
And Mac gets hurt, but he keeps playing, right? His
Absolutely.
knee hurts, the other knee hurts. He's got this, he's got that. But his attitude is, this is my shot. I'm taking it. This is my shot.
Yeah, and the Niners don't need Mac Jones to be Josh Allen. They just need him to be healthy. They went to the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. He's clearly better than Jimmy Garoppolo. He might be better than Brock Purdy. But for as good as Brock Purdy is, it doesn't matter because he's hurt. If Mac can just stay on the field, he's the savior, like you said.
Iggy, how many games this season has Brock Purdy missed?
Two. Has he missed? 7.
Missed 7.
7.
Well, that's a lot of games.
He missed what? 2 of their final games last year. I mean, he's missed a lot of games over the last year.
And Iggy, more and more he throws picks.
Yeah. Now, I think this was a subtopic of this one we wanted to talk about. I don't have the paper in front of me, but the contract.
Oh, I want to get into that.
Yeah. So it's always the subtopic. All right. Well, if Mac is better than Brock, as we feel, then what does that say about this contract that the 49ers gave to Brock this year?
Okay. 2 thoughts. As we said before they gave the contract, they should never have given him that contract. They should have made it an open competition.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand they wanted stability. They believed in this kid, blah, blah, blah. As far as giving him, what is it, $50 million a year, Iggy?
53.
53. It's the 49ers' money. They can do whatever they want with it. The only thing they can't do, in my opinion, is to say, we got to play Brock more than Mac because we're paying him more. The salary to me is irrelevant. You play the best guy and you play the healthy guy. Right now, the healthy guy is Mac and the best guy is Mac. Money aside, if they want to pay this guy $53 million to stand on the side and look like a hero, that's their business. I can't criticize them for that. They got to play the right guy, and they're doing it. They're playing the right guy.
Yeah, and they did this 3 years ago. They traded all those picks for Trey Lance. They gave him a shot. He wasn't the right guy, so they went back to Jimmy. Then they went to Brock, and it's like, well, okay, let's just pretend we traded all those picks for Brock. Let's just pretend we didn't do that. And that was fine with them. They have to do the same. Let's just pretend you didn't pay Brock Purdy because right now you got Mac Jones playing the way you wish Brock Purdy would play.
Absolutely. And Iggy, I want to praise Shanahan. He saw something in Mac Jones that the rest of the league didn't see. I don't think he's good at developing quarterbacks, but I think he's good at spotting quarterbacks. Bill Walsh could do both. I don't think Kyle can, but he spotted Darnold when the league had given up on him and Mac when the league had given up on him. So props to Kyle for that. I mean, these guys were dead in the water, Riggy, these guys.
Yeah. And it's like he missed on Lance. Maybe he realized, look, he shouldn't be drafting and quote unquote developing young quarterbacks. What he can do is find the quarterbacks that other teams failed to develop and would flourish on his team and his system. That wasn't Lance. Lance needed development, but a guy like Mac Jones didn't need development. He just needed a system. He needed some playmakers around him, and Kyle Shanahan recognized that.
And Iggy, they brought that kid in, your friend that used to play Little League with Lombardi. They brought him up from the Patriots because he had worked with Mac. So that's smart. I'm not really that good at developing quarterbacks, but you worked with him. Let's bring you over here with him.
Yeah. And I know it's not our money, but this isn't like baseball. There's a salary cap. And if you give a contract like this to Brock, it affects what you can give to other players, and it affects your chances of winning the Super Bowl. Can they win a Super Bowl spending this much on this one player? In the future, if it doesn't work out with Brock and they get rid of his contract or restructure it or move him eventually, I think what Kyle could learn is that he's 2 for 2 now. He got it right with Darnold. He got it right with Jones. He doesn't necessarily have to spend $1 bajillion on quarterbacks to feel secure at that position. He can maybe cycle through them every few years because he can find former top 10 picks, former first round picks who are available on the scrap heap and can be very effective on his team.
I agree with that. And I'm going to say something actually a little radical. Mac Jones, he was a first round pick, Iggy?
Yes.
And we know that Purdy was the last pick. And there's tremendous romance in that. You know, he's like King Arthur getting Excalibur, right? There's a tremendous romance in that. But there's probably a reason that Mac was a first-round choice and this kid almost didn't get drafted.
You know who Brock Purdy is? He's Tom Hanks in Big.
I love it. I love it.
Where did you get that superpower from? And he's like doing like the little dance at on the that's Brock. But he's come back down to earth. There was another movie when I was a kid you probably don't remember called Rookie of the Year. Roger Rosengarten. He's this little kid, and all of a sudden he breaks his arm and he can throw 100 miles an hour. That's Brock Purdy.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, they gave the contract out because they felt this is just the cost of doing business in the NFL. This is what you eventually have to do. It's a good problem to have. Let's do it. One, you didn't really know about Brock. He was getting hurt last year. The stuff continued. It would have been nice to just have some more time and some more evidence to see how it goes. And two, you got the Kyle Shanahan factor. As long as you're in business with Kyle, he does some things very well. And this is one of the best things he does. Find a quarterback who is not in demand, who isn't going to get a ton of money, and make him one of the more productive, efficient quarterbacks in football. He's done it a few times.
Yeah.
They could have kept Sam Darnold.
Yes. And here's the thing. Now, he blew up in the playoffs, Darnold, last season. But I watched the first half of the Seattle game last night. Holy mackerel, Iggy. He was on fire.
Yeah. And we talk about limitations and stuff. He has far fewer than really either Mac or Brock. I mean, he's big. He's got a good arm. He can run. He's a good player. Now, he did flop in his first ever postseason game. A lot of quarterbacks have. See what he does in the second one. He's going to go.
Lamar Jackson always does.
Always does. Yeah. Keep giving him MVPs.
Yeah. Okay, we praised Kyle. I feel good about that.
All right. This quarterback conundrum is brought to you by this week's sponsor, Mint Mobile. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Ditch overpriced wireless and their jaw-dropping monthly bills, unexpected overages, and hidden fees. Plans start at $15 a month at Mint. Make the switch at mintmobile.com/Cohn. That's mintmobile.com/COHN. Upfront payment of $45 required. That's the equivalent of $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. That's affordable wireless and aftershave here on the Cohn Zone. We always bring you the best. Always. Niner Fan 85 says, need to trade for a pass rusher for pressure on quarterback. These injuries are ridiculous. Also, prayers to Jaden Daniels. That was rough. Did you see that last night?
No. I heard about it.
Dazza says, Watching Niners is infuriating. If they just invested in the offensive line instead of 53 million into Purdy and wasting third-round picks, they'd be a Super Bowl contender if Fred and BA or Pearsall were healthy. McKivitz makes any defensive end look like Reggie White. Sorry, I'm Colton. Joe No says disappointed Grant was looking forward to New York City tacos. I got the chopped cheese instead. Next time I will. Josh says thoughts on Kittle's tangent at the end.
What was his tangent, Iggy? I didn't.
Okay,
watch.
so he came out. He did a press conference after the game, and he always does a press conference after the game. He's one of the captains, but he only had 4 catches for 32 yards. He's still like not quite 100%, and there wasn't that much to ask him. So he just went on a tangent about this new movie he watched called K-Pop Demons. And then he told us about this other movie he watched about the Vietnam War, but there's dinosaurs in it. And that I was like, wow, and he just kept going and going. And the PR staff was like, anything else, George? You know how they say like a couple more they were like, all right, George, that's enough. And then he left. I've never seen anything like it. He just kept talking about movies.
I don't want you to talk. I'm going to talk about Kittle, but I don't want you to talk. All right. Okay. I've never met Kittle. I'm never going to meet Kittle. I think one of the things Kittle is about is to show people he's an interesting person.
Yeah.
I think he may be a Hall of Fame football player. I love to watch him play, but I have known many interesting people in my life, more interesting than Kittle, with more varied interests, maybe even more intelligent. And most of them didn't try to show how interesting they were. They let you grasp it on your own. I feel that he wants to show people he's interesting and that he's a character.
He's more than just a football player.
More than just a football player. The character may or not be him. It's a character that he portrays. And I'll give you an example. Whenever he makes a catch, he makes a big deal of it. It's not like he catches the ball, gives the ball to the official, and goes back to the huddle. He's moving. He's doing this. It's like he scored a touchdown. Kelsey, who's as good as he is, catches the ball, gets knocked down, gets up, and goes back to the huddle. So every catch for Kittle is an event to show the public that he's interesting and different. And I think part of his object in life is to show you he's interesting and different. And I think it permeates his personality, and that would account for the tangent. Oh, we don't have football? Let's talk about movies. I used to be a film critic. I don't talk about movies that much. Not on here.
If he had 10 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, he probably wouldn't have been talking about the dinosaurs in Vietnam.
Yeah, and the dinosaurs in Vietnam. And what did he say they were good movies, or just that these things happened?
That he liked them and that he recommended that we watch them.
And his recommendation was because he liked them?
Yeah, because he liked them. They were good.
Okay. Fine. Yeah. That's a certain standard. There were others. Okay.
Anything else, George? It was really funny when the PR guy said that. It was actually a pretty good line. All Day Everyday Kim says, hey, Papa, do you think Niners should trade Bubble Wrap Brock if Mac keeps balling?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't think it's been determined on the team that they can get along with one quarterback.
Good point.
I think they're roughly equal, although I give the edge to Mac, but they're roughly equal. I think they need both of them, Iggy.
I agree. Until they actually improve their offensive line, they might need 3.
Yeah.
Dassa says Mac with a bruised knee brace, PCL injury, and an oblique injury is playing better than Brock last year.
Iggy, I think demonstrably playing better.
That's a good point. All Day Everyday Kim says the Niners learned an expensive lesson on what a franchise quarterback should be playing through the BS. If you can stand, you can play. That's the point I wanted to make. The thing with quarterback is you should be able to play it if you're hurt and can't move. I mean, Tom Brady didn't move. Peyton Manning didn't move. That's one position you don't have to run to be good, but Brock has to be run to be good, to be a good quarterback. Yeah. The minimalist. donates $2. Thank you. All Day Everyday Kim says Doug Peterson thought Mac was good on a bad team. That was last year. Jewish Guy says maybe Darnold stole Brock's skills Space Jam style. Yeah, maybe Darnold is a alien. Niner fan 85 says if Niners win Super Bowl with Mac, is Purdy Carson Wentz winning the Super Bowl with Mac, Dad? Think they're gonna do that?
That's getting way ahead of ourselves, okay?
Let's stay in the present. The Niners are playing the Rams this week at home. The Rams are really good, and yet the Niners beat them. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be yet. I have a guess. I have an idea. What do you think about this matchup?
Here's what we should do, Iggy, and you're a little better at this than I am. Let's do two scenarios. One, the Niners lose to the Rams. Two, the Niners beat the Rams. And let's see where we come out. Let's say that we say the Niners are going to lose to the Rams. What would be some of the reasons?
Okay. When the Niners beat the Rams in LA, Fred Warner played in that game. He's not going to be there. So the defense, which played just well enough to beat the Rams, will be compromised. And Matthew Stafford has thrown 9 touchdown passes in his last 2 starts. He's really, really, really good. And frankly, the Niners, they did beat the Rams, but it was kind of lucky. They had to have that punch out strip fumble at the goal line. That was one of the greatest plays in franchise history. They had some breaks, and you get credit for breaks. Sometimes you got to get lucky to win a game, but if they don't get a bunch of breaks in this one, they might lose, even though they're at home.
Okay. Give me a winning scenario for the 49ers.
Well, I think we saw in this last game against the Giants that what gives the Niners problems on defense is a quarterback who can run. And it's been that way forever, since Russell Wilson was young. That's not Stafford. Stafford's really good, but he's not going to scramble for first downs on 3rd and 8. And he's probably not going to throw for 4 or 5 touchdown passes against the 49ers. They can probably limit him to 1 or 2, maybe 3, and keep the score less than 30. And that's what they did. That's how they beat him a month ago.
My reason tells me the Rams will win this game. My reason. I think they're a hotter team. They're right now in a better team. But my gut tells me the Niners are going to win. The Niners play them tough. It's going to be, Iggy, it's not going to be a blowout either way. It's going to be a tough game. I think the Niners are a tougher bunch than the Rams. I do. I think Mac Jones is going to do just well enough. I think McCaffrey won't have a game like he had yesterday, but I think he'll have a good game against them. Again, it comes back to the earlier part of our conversation. I don't really know who the 49ers are. And that's why I'm having trouble between my reason and my gut in this. They're not aligned in this one. I will say one thing. We will really learn a lot about the 49ers in this game, like we didn't against the Giants. It's going to be a primer on who they are. But I'm saying I have 2 feelings about it. Who do you think is going to win?
I think the Rams are going to win. And I think it comes back to our question about who are the Niners. And I think the answer is, I don't think they're one team. I don't think they have one identity right now. I mean, they look completely different week to week. And they haven't won. It's not just them though. It's most of these teams in the NFL. A lot of these teams look way different week to week. Maybe the Seahawks are the exception. But they haven't won back-to-back games since week 3. What they do the last month and a half is they win a game, and then they lose a game, and then they give you hope, and then they piss you off, and then they redeem themselves. And coming off this win, it's just the Giants, but all of a sudden they're 6-3. There's the pressure's off of them. I would not be surprised if they just lost to the Rams, because it wouldn't be the end of the world. They'd still be 6-4. They'd have the Cardinals the next week, and they'd win that game.
Oh, yeah, they'll beat the Cardinals. Cardinals are a terrible disappointment. I thought they'd be much better than that. So uh, you're saying that the Rams will win. Fair enough. This is hard. Do you think it'll be a hard fought, close game or something different?
I think it'll be a hard fought, close game. The one that wasn't was the one in Houston. The Niners lost by like 11 points to that sorry team, but it's an AFC team. They've never faced D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud. It was a 10 a.m. start. It felt like they almost weren't up for the game.
Yeah.
That's as big of the reason that they didn't win. They weren't up for the game. They're going to be up for the Rams. They're going to be up for this game. Home game. It's a division rival. They've faced them already. They know what's coming. It's going to be a really close, hard-fought game, and they absolutely could win it. I just think if they got the breaks in the first one, maybe the Rams get the breaks in this one.
Iggy, I want to say, going to the Giants game, I had interest because I watched the games because we do this together, but I wasn't excited about the game. I'm excited about the Rams game. I mean, I wish they were playing it today.
Yeah.
I really, really want to see that game. And I have a feeling things will happen and it'll be decided in ways that we haven't even touched on today.
Can you imagine if they beat the Rams?
Oh,
What does that mean for this team? You sweep the Rams with your backup quarterback and you're 7-3. How do you not call them Super Bowl contenders or whatever?
yeah. Iggy, if they beat the Rams, it's a major statement. Major statement. And even if it's a close game, even if they win on a field goal, whatever, a win's a win. You beat the Rams, you sweep them, and that would put them 4 wins in the division, right?
Yeah.
Last year, they only had 1. Last season, I should
Yeah.
say. They only had 1. So, yeah, we haven't even talked about that, really. If they beat the Rams, I'm going to say this is one of the biggest wins of the Shanahan era. If they beat the Rams, this game, 10th game of this season.
And it would really force the team and everyone, the fans, to recalibrate what's possible for this team. And I think for the past 5, 6, 7 years, since Andy Reid and Mahomes have sort of built a little mini dynasty, I don't know, mini is the word, but a bit of a powerhouse in Kansas City, I think teams feel like, man, you have to have a freaking juggernaut to have a chance to win a Super Bowl. But I mean, there's been so many teams throughout my time watching football that were 10-6, 9-7, snuck into the playoffs, got hot for a month, won the Super Bowl. I mean, Eli Manning did it twice. Aaron Rodgers did it early in his career. This seems like that kind of a year. There is no juggernaut. There is no great team this season. Some team's going to get hot in January. Why not the Niners? They're in position. They're probably going to be in the playoffs. Why not the Niners?
Yeah, yeah. And if they beat the Rams, it would be more than why not the Niners. It might be the Niners.
Might be the Niners.
Might be the Niners.
Because they got this quarterback who's pretty good.
So, Iggy, I have another question.
Sure.
We had a couple weeks ago, we had said Shanahan was in the running for Coach of the Year. Then after they got beat at Houston, I thought maybe I was a little premature, but now they're 6-3 again. Is he in or is he not in the running, among other people, of course, for Coach of the Year?
He's absolutely back in contention. The guy in Indianapolis was doing a great job. He just lost. So it's, again, there's no clear and obvious best team. So why not the Niners? I think maybe right now, given what happened last night, maybe Mike McDonald in Seattle is in the running as well. Sean Payton 7-2 in Denver. There's some good teams, some good coaches.
Patriots.
Absolutely. Great call. Vrabel. But what Kyle has going for him is that he's really 5-2 with Mac Jones. He's really 5-2 with the backup quarterback. And that's maybe a higher degree of difficulty. Although if Mac Jones is better than his starter, maybe not. But still, that's very impressive. And if he can keep Mac Jones healthy and if they can win 11 games, he'd absolutely be in the conversation. He just might win it.
Yeah. And Iggy, if they beat the Rams, he even moves up.
Absolutely. And what's so interesting is like they're in this position because of maybe one of his worst decisions as a coach. The initial Brock Purdy toe injury wasn't Kyle's fault. Bringing him back week 4 against Jacksonville is a very questionable decision, a decision that led to another injury and maybe could have disqualified a head coach from being Coach of the Year. But It actually opened up some of the best work of Kyle Shanahan's tenure with the 49ers. It's very ironic.
I love what you're saying. It's true.
Yeah.
He made a bad move.
Yeah.
We're not in on the discussions. We don't know what happened. It was clearly a mistake to bring him
Yeah.
back. And yet it led to some great coaching.
Yes.
He recovered. He didn't get in the fetal position and hide.
It may have led to him finding the best quarterback for this team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's absolutely in the running. And I think you could argue he's having his best year as a head coach. And he's overcoming one of his biggest blunders as a head coach, which was jeopardizing your franchise quarterback.
And he's overcoming an incredible amount of injuries. Now, look, I don't give him a break for injuries. No one cares. You got injuries, too bad. Some coaches cannot overcome them or deal with them, and some can. So far, he's done really beautifully, Iggy. What's happened on the defense, it's amazing. And and with his wide receivers, and he's done very well. So a lot of praise for Kyle today.
Yeah, and if he wins the award, Sam Darnold's not going to have anything to do with it because he's on the Seahawks now. He's 2 teams removed from the 49ers, but Kyle did resuscitate Sam Darnold's career. He did that. Sam Darnold is successful right now because Kyle Shanahan believed in him. So he gets credit for that. Yeah. All right. It is time to do a couple more super chats. Is Puka trending to play? Asked Niner fan 85. Oh, let's find out on Wednesday. Not sure yet. We'll see if he practices. Anoop says, beyond a trade, what does Robert Saleh need to do to improve this defense? I don't know that there's a lot he can do right now without a trade. I think what he's with his game plans, he's saying, we're trying our best to do bend but don't break. We're going to let you sort of get into the red zone and hopefully force you to kick a field goal. I think that's the best he can do right now with his personnel, and it worked against the Giants because they suck. It didn't work against the Texans because they didn't suck. MJ was here, says, we really conflating turf toe with minor sprains. Okay. Ramelia Sports Report says McVay holding Lombardi at Levi's in February. I don't know what else he was going to say, but maybe McVay could be coach of the year, although I don't think he will be. Okay. Prize picks, Dad. We got Niners prize picks, Rams prize picks. Let me see if I can find them. Hold on. NFL. Where's the game? There it is. Okay. Rushing yards. Christian McCaffrey, 70.5. What do you think?
Against the Rams?
Fewer? Yes.
Fewer. Rushing, fewer.
Yeah, he had 57 against the Rams in LA, so I think that's a wise pick. Kyron Williams, their running back, the Rams running back, 68.5 rushing yards. He had 65 against the Niners in LA.
More, because I think they have trouble defending the run now. And with Michael Williams out, even more.
That's a good call, Dad. Agree. Receiving yards, Christian McCaffrey. Oh, so we did fewer on the receiving. Hold on. Rushing yards, we want fewer. But what about receiving yards, Dad? 49.5.
More.
That's smart.
I'll tell you now, Kyle is going to throw the ball to him a lot.
Why do you think why do you think Kyle Shanahan calls so many plays for Christian McCaffrey?
Well, he believes in him and he believes his offense works better that way, but I think he's mistaken.
I agree.
I humbly disagree with him. And he's got this other running back, Robinson. Did you see how powerful he was yesterday?
Yeah.
He was a little like a Jordan Mason.
He might have been better. Scored a touchdown from 18 yards out. He's good.
Eggy, and he was strong and he was fast. So I humbly disagree with Kyle. I think he uses the one guy too much and doesn't use the other guy enough as a running back.
I completely agree. And I had your theory as well all season. Like Kyle just incorrectly thinks that giving the ball to Christian every other play is the best thing for his offense. Then when they were up late in the game, I want to say up 10 points with like 2 minutes left, and Christian's still in there and he's handing him the ball. Like, how nervous are you? Or are you trying to, is there something else going on? Like, why is he in the game with 2 minutes left? Like, that's just, anyway, I don't know.
No, here's the thing. I don't like it either. I think Kyle is one of these guys. He's got an idea, and he keeps going to the idea. I don't think there's anything else involved. But I have covered. I'm not even going to name certain coaches who didn't know when to take players out of a game, and sometimes it really hurt them. And late in the game, McCaffrey should not be in there because he has an injury history, Iggy. He's not a big man. He gets hit very hard. Doesn't play the last 2 minutes. You already have the game won. I
Yeah,
don't understand it. So I
'cause
humbly disagree on that one too.
when you do stuff like that, it raises all kind of questions. Like, why are you padding his stats in a game that's over? Are you the guy that wanted to give him the extension? Are you trying to justify it to your owners? Like, don't even raise those questions because those are no good. So yeah, you got to get him out of the game. He's had a great season, but he's leading the league in touches. Dial it back. You got a good backup running back. You might have more than one good backup running back. We don't even know. So that's a big one for me. The McCaffrey usage.
Okay.
Usage. All right. A couple more prize picks and we'll get out of here. Tonight, it's Dallas and Arizona. Jacoby Brissett. Kyler Murray seems to be healthy, and I don't think they want him to be the quarterback anymore. I think the team plays harder for Jacoby Brissett. 238 passing yards, more or less, against Dallas.
Fewer.
Interesting. Fewer. How about Dak Prescott? 268.5 passing yards, fewer against Arizona.
Fewer with a comment.
Sure.
Dak Prescott is the most overrated quarterback
Yes.
in the league. Somehow they talk Dak. Iggy, if I had a team and he offered to play for free, I wouldn't want him. I don't think he's a winner.
How did he get on first name basis? First name status? Because he's a Cowboy.
Yeah. I don't
Who's
like
a better
his
quarterback,
work.
Dak or Darnold?
Oh, Darnold.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I got
right.
one for you. I got another one for you. Who's a better quarterback, Dak or Hurts?
Hurts.
I
got another one for you. Who's a better quarterback, Dak or Mac?
Mac. Oh, no question. I don't like that guy's work, Iggy. And I think as long as Dallas has him as a starting quarterback, forget about it.
Yeah, if everyone knows when you say Dak, that means he's gonna blow it. That's a bad thing.
Bad thing.
All right, we're flexing the play. We're submitting it. Download Prize Picks. Use promo code COHN. Play $5. Get 50 instantly in lineups when you use my promo code COHN. Okay, a few more. Christopher says, hopefully SF bites the bullet and doesn't trade away assets for a team that 100% isn't coming close to winning a title this season. Need young talent. See, this, Christopher, I love you, and thank you for the $5. I don't understand this comment. This team is 100% not coming close to winning a title. Because which team is so much better than them?
Right.
They're not as good as the team they had 2 years ago, but neither are the Chiefs, neither are the Eagles. NVIX Media says, good guy Mac let Adrian Martinez play one snap. Did you see this?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It's kind of cool. He just took himself out of the game and let Adrian Martinez get in there.
He's a good guy.
That's Mac for you. That's Mac being Mac. Mac being Mac is better than Dak being Dak, as I've always said.
Okay.
All right, Dad. This has been by far the best show we've ever done, which is wonderful. We're on a streak. I love you. And I missed you. And it's great to be back.
It's great to see. I love you. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Eagles would crush this team for sure, says Christopher. For sure.
I don't know about that. I
guess we'll find out in the playoffs. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll be back. Take care.